Well, good morning, guys. Not really doing too much to the M3 today, but I did get my new tuned DME back from Markert. So I'm actually going to rip open the glove box right now and take out the old one and install the new one. This one is fully Alpha N tuned, and it's actually sized for the bigger Dynon throttle bodies, which I don't have on the car yet, but we're going to give it a go. When I first swapped this car, the ECU was... Oh shoot, I have to move some stuff. Looks like the ECU was under the hood, but now it is in the glove box because I went to that Z3M engine harness. So let me move a couple things and we'll get inside here. Sorry for the washed out video, the sun is shining. And there is the beautiful glove box. Someday maybe I'll clean that up a little bit, but probably not. So there is my untuned ECU. It is obviously modified for the swap tune, so there's no EWS or anything. EKP, some fuses. So this is the box I'm going to be changing out. There's just, I think, 5 plugs on it. You have to go in one order, but they're not difficult to replace. So that is what I'm going to do right meow. And there she is. My original ECU and the tuned one. I actually had a local friend pull the tune off of this new ECU, and he said it didn't look like they had done almost anything to any of the maps. He said the EWS was still enabled somehow, so I don't even know if this thing's going to start. But car's in neutral, I guess. Sorry, I'm trying out my new gimbal and microphone, so forgive the difficulty of pointing in the right direction. I'll prime the fuel pump. Weird. Well, I think I'll be emailing that company. That was not an inexpensive tune or computer, so I expect that to work. The car hasn't been started in quite a while, but that shouldn't make any difference. It's supposed to be springtime, guys, but I sure see a lot of snow still. I don't know. I'd fire up the 850, but I don't have time to leave it running right now, so for another time. Well, a little bit later, here we are, Boxster. So this car needs a couple little things before it's kind of ready for the season to become my summer daily driver. Most of which are actually a small clip inside of the soft top mechanism that lets the lid open properly, which I don't have yet. The Porsche dealership around here isn't open for parts at all on weekends, which seems a little stupid. But things I can do, down here, I have a bracket for the mid pipe that connects it to the carrier bracket for the muffler. I apparently didn't tighten these down when I swapped the engine originally because they are missing. So I have a new one and some new nuts. These shifter cable ends I probably won't install. I bought them back when I thought there was an issue with the factory cable ends, and there wasn't. I do have an oil control piston kit there. I could maybe do that. I'll have to look into it. I don't have a drain pan here, which is my main concern. And I think that's an O-ring for that job. But the main focus for today is going to be these two right here. These are cruise control bulbs for the cluster, and these are backlighting bulbs. Right now I've got one backlight bulb that's out, and the cruise control bulb, I believe, is out as well, which is causing the car to not have working cruise control. From the form trolling I've been able to do, just give me a second, I'll get in here and show you. They're saying when the bulb goes bad, it will actually stop the cruise control from working, which is a little bit silly, but honestly at this point I think I've checked everything else in the car that controls the cruise and nothing else makes sense. So it is what it is. Actually removing the cluster on this thing, I'm not entirely sure. I think there's a couple of torques. I'm going to Google it. I don't work on Porsches very much, so I'm going to Google it, try to get that cluster out, and then install some bulbs. And then while I'm doing that, the exhaust will hopefully be cooling, so I can put in that bracket. Okay, so the first of the screws, kind of hard to see actually. There's a microphone cover right there. We pry that off, and there's a Torx T20 behind that. And the second one is behind the hazard switch. So you turn the hazards on, then you get your screwdriver behind it and pull it out. Okay, well the two T20s just allow you to remove the shroud itself from the cluster. It's looking like there's two metal sandwich pieces right here on either side that will probably pull off, and that should allow me to separate the back plastic piece along with this tab to get access to the illumination bulbs. Okay, so I did just take the plastic lens off, and that was just the clip here and the one on this side as well, along with a little prying around the edge. Then it took the two little knobs off too. You can see the other one kind of flew up there on the floor. Then I'm to this point. So I've got, again, this is just working with the standard screwdriver gently. You got the two ribbon cables down there, just one on each side. And we are going to have to move those away. And that's actually done with, on the bottom here, sorry, there's a little tab in there, and you're just going to pull that away. And that should dislodge the ribbon cables from the front part of the cluster, which will allow us to take it apart far enough to get at, shoot, such an idiot. The illumination bulb that's out and the cruise control bulb, which is right here. So I'm going to keep on going. Hopefully I can get it apart without breaking it. And here we have it. The cluster main board, which I won't be messing with right now. And the gauges, which I will. So the cruise bulb, I believe, is right there, and the illum bulb that's out is right there. I bought two of them, so I'm going to replace both of the main illumination bulbs. Wow, what a pain just to get to that. But we didn't break anything, so it should go back together pretty nice. In order to remove these bulbs, you can use a small standard screwdriver or a 6mm socket for those. Just do the big green ones by hand. The green ones are holders, the small ones are bulbs and holders together, for what it's worth. Well, looky there. That is a lot of working cluster lights. All the backlight bulbs up here are working, and I found the cruise is actually down here on a 2000, so interestingly enough, it doesn't appear to work after I've turned the car on, which is unfortunate. Huh. Well, I don't know. There's a bulb in it, so maybe it'll work now. Either way, I'm gonna put it all back together and see what happens. Well, hey, at least I've got the cruise control light showing up when I turn the key on now. And I do have proper gauge cluster lighting all the way through, so the car looks a lot less poverty when I drive it at night. A little bummed that the cruise control doesn't appear to be fixed, however, but what can you do? Other than resetting the clock, I guess we're done in here for the day. got my old bulbs there. A couple spare interior bulbs. They're probably the same as E30, so I guess I'll head back underneath the back of the car now. It's probably cooled off. And we can take a look at that little bracket. Oh wow, the car is leaking some oil. Alright, there it is, right there. So, gotta put that bracket in top down, and then get some fasteners. And yeah, wow, that's new. That looks like power steering fluid to me. Oh man, it's really wet up there. Gross. Bummer. Lots and lots of fluid. The power steering has been kind of wonky and not working great the last couple of days, so I guess I've got a reservoir issue up top, unfortunately. Shoot. Alrighty, I'm going to put in that bracket up here, and that'll probably be all I do for today on the Boxster. There we go. All done. Perfect. Well, major development, guys. If I hit the cruise stock, I now get a cruise control light in the cluster, so maybe it will work. Nice. Sweet.